Hey everyone, John Blankensop here, and welcome to this Big QU Knowledge Nugget. In this edition, we're going to learn about the first Big Q tenet of transformation that I call the universal truth. I hope you find this knowledge nugget informative and insightful. So we began our Big Q quality management transformation journey by learning about the Big Q quality management paradigm and the meaning of quality within that paradigm in Knowledge Nuggets 2 and 3. Now what I would like to do to continue our Big Q quality management journey is I would like to discuss a set of principles and concepts that support the Big Q quality management mindset. And these sets of principles and concepts I call the tenets of transformation. And I have four of them: the universal truth, the universal processes, the universal approach, and the universal framework. So in this knowledge nugget, number 4, we're going to explore the universal truth. And then in knowledge nugget number 5, we're going to take a look at the universal processes. In knowledge nugget number 6, we're going to explore the universal approach. And in knowledge nugget number 7, we'll be learning about the universal framework. The first Big Q tenet of transformation that I call the universal truth actually comes from one of our quality gurus, Dr. Deming, also known as the father of quality management. He liked to say that every system is perfectly designed to give you exactly what you're getting today. I refer to this as the universal truth of Big Q quality management because it turns out everything that I ever needed to know about quality management comes from the wisdom we learn through this universal truth. Now, what was he trying to tell us? I think he was being a little bit snarky with us, but I think what he was trying to tell us is, hey, if you keep doing what you've been doing, you're going to keep getting what you've been getting. And if you want to get something that you've never gotten before, you're going to have to do something that you've never done before. Bottom line, I think what he wanted us to know is that all organizations must understand the importance of creating a better system for achieving better outcomes. Dr. Deming was a real systems thinker. He believed that every organization is composed of a system of interrelated processes and people which make up system components. So he thought of a process within a system as a component. He also believed that the success of all the workers within the system was dependent on management's capability to optimize each component or each process across the entire system. Now, in my opinion, one of his greatest bodies of work is what he called the system of profound knowledge, which goes into his thoughts regarding systems thinking in much more detail. If you're interested in learning more about the system of profound knowledge, I recommend that you read his book called The New Economics. When we take a systems view of an organization, it allows us as managers to focus on the systemic causes of results. And this should sound familiar because we learned about this in Knowledge Nugget number 2 when we reviewed the characteristics of a Big Q quality management belief system. The first thing we need to understand about the universal truth of Big Q quality management is that we have to change our view of an organization. When Dr. Deming went to Japan in the late 40s, early 50s to teach Japanese industry about quality management, one of the first things that he had to do was help them change their view of their organizations from a traditional view of a set of discrete and independent departments or processes governed by various chains of command, these vertical silos in organizations. He wanted them to see their organizations as being many internal and external interrelated processes with connections and interactions that flowed horizontally across the organization. And what he would tell people is that when all the process connections and interactions are working together to accomplish a shared aim, a business could achieve tremendous results. Deming's system of profound knowledge has 4 learning components: appreciation for a system, psychology, knowledge of variation, and theory of knowledge. I'd like to review key learning points regarding appreciation for a system. The first learning point is that every system must first have constancy of purpose, aim, mission, vision, goals, a sense of identity, and the system will self-organize and adapt around that identity. This is important for us to understand. We must have a deep understanding of the prevailing identity within our organizations because as we build systems, these systems will self-organize around that identity and will continue to adapt to reinforce that identity. The next two learning points we've already discussed. Systems are made up of interrelated components, which are people and processes, and optimization of the system can only occur when all interconnecting components are arranged to achieve the organization's ultimate goals and objectives. Next, each component of the system is obligated to contribute its best to the system as a whole. When we think about system effectiveness and the strength of a system, we know that a system is only as strong as its weakest link, its weakest process. So every department that owns a process, every process owner is obligated to do their very best to contribute to the system and the success of the system as a whole. The last learning point is no one component may seek its own reward without destroying the balance of the system. No one department, no one process owner may seek its own reward without destroying the balance of the system as a whole. That means when we're establishing goals and objectives for our departments and our processes, these goals and objectives should not be self-centered about us as a department or a process owner. They really need to be about how we contribute to the success of the system and the balance of the system as a whole. So I'd like to close this knowledge nugget by asking you a question. What do we call an organization that expects to get different results by continuing to do the same thing? Well, we call that organization insane. And that knowledge comes from our friend Albert Einstein, who said that insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Every system is perfectly designed to give you exactly what you're getting today. If you want to get something different, you're going to have to do something different. Well, that's a wrap for this Big QU Knowledge Nugget. I hope this edition piqued your interest and intellectual curiosity. Remember to comment below with knowledge sharing, questions, and/or feedback. Your input matters here. Also, if you haven't already, please consider following me and subscribing to this LinkedIn newsletter. I hope you plan to join me for the next Big QU Knowledge Nugget, which will explore the second Big Q tenet of transformation that I call the universal processes. Until then, remember, every day is a great day to make things better. See you next time.